and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
You know, I was thinking the day that this episode releases, it's a public holiday, released in large parts of Australia. I think we'll celebrate it. And it's one of those.
I think it's actually different in different states.
Weirdly. Yeah, I think the day is different. I think we all celebrate the public holiday, but on different dates. But all that to say, it's one of those like royal ones, right? Where it's like, because we're colonized by England kind of thing, we get this public holiday. Mm-hmm. But what I really like, the thing I like about this country is we have a friend of ours that's from overseas. He's been living in Melbourne about a year or so. And we were talking to him, I remember recently, and he was like, you know what's crazy is you guys just have public holidays for sports as well. Like, you guys will just take public holidays for anything. It's like, yeah, I guess so. So all that to say is that it's one of our many public holidays that we decide to take for, like, no reason.
We don't like the working day.
No.
The more public holidays we can cram in, sometimes our Prime Minister will just sit in a big boardroom full of just tons of politicians on both sides, both parties, major parties. And just like, guys, what's next?
Yeah, how can we get another one?
What's another one that we can do? Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Is the so Victoria gets a public holiday for the AFL Grand Final?
Yeah.
I don't think there's one for rugby in like New South Wales, say, or Queensland would be kind of a big one there, but I don't think they do. But does like the Super Bowl in America, obviously super.
Well, it's on a
huge.
Sunday in America.
Yeah, but so is our AFL Grand Final. We just have the public holiday on the Friday.
We take a day off anyway.
This came up in the boardroom meeting, and they were talking about it. Somebody was like, how about the AFL Grand Final? A few people in the room clapped, and then others shook their heads like, you idiot. And then somebody was like, guys, on the Friday, we'll do it on the Friday. And then everybody cheered and applauded, and now we've got that holiday.
Honestly, there is a movement in this country as well to change the date of Australia Day. It's a controversial thing because it celebrates the founding of the modern country, but also that is the theft of the country from another people, right? And I think everyone is, at least everyone that wants it changed, is unanimous in that, like, we would like the date changed so it doesn't have to represent both things. We can celebrate the country without having to do it on the day that it was like stolen. Yeah. But you cannot take away the public holiday we get.
Yeah.
We want an additional public holiday.
That'll be like, you know, if it eventually happens, that'll be more about here is to the, you know, Aboriginal people for which whose land we took over. We will take a day off to recognize the suffering that went on there. And then, so we just need to change the language about why.
Yeah, more like an Anzac Day. We do that in celebration of something that's quite tragic and very sad.
Yeah.
We'll
take a day off for anything. I don't know if that was
still
clear.
Go to the pub and they make this one particular game of gambling illegal that day. So it's not like we can't have an all right time celebrating.
Wait, what game do they? Have I missed something here?
The game of Two Up.
What's that? I don't even know what that
Nelson, this is the least Australian you've ever been, mate.
Do you know, Camber, every now and again you just come out with something that's like, this is the most Australian thing.
Are you kidding me?
Nobody knows.
Are you kidding me right now? Two Up is like an old school Australian tradition.
What is Two Up?
Have you never been to a pub on Anzac Day?
Never.
Have you honestly never?
I don't know. I can't remember every Anzac Day in my life, Cambo. That is so bizarre to ask me where if I remember ever being at a pub on Anzac Day.
So Two Up is a game with two coins on a stick, essentially, and you throw them up in the air and try and bet on what the result is going to be. And as far as I know, it is actually technically illegal to play except on Anzac Day. So if you go to any pub on Anzac Day, there's normally a bunch of, I'll say, older gentlemen in the corner of a pub playing Two Up.
Okay, yeah.
I thought this was a huge
actually,
thing.
Just so you know, not actually necessarily an Australian thing, I think.
No, I don't think it is. But I think they just made the law, because it was a wartime game, as far as I know. At least it was popular in the war. But yeah, they do a thing where they're like,
Oh, maybe it is.
don't be playing it, except obviously on this one day, then go absolutely nuts.
Pokies, though, every other day.
Yeah, every other day. That's fine.
That's
that.
That's the most Australian game. It's the pokies. Not winning, obviously. We like an underdog. So the more you lose at the pokies, the more Australian you are. That's the
truth. Yeah.
Yep. I'm not sad that I've missed that tradition. I've just decided.
Oh yeah, 2-Up is not that interesting.
I'm looking at Wikipedia. Have you ever flipped a coin? Flip two. on a wooden stick. That's really funny. Anyway.
Because it's funny because you say what's 2-Up and it's exactly what it sounds like. You throw 2 coins up.
As soon as you know what the thing is,
yeah,
what the 2 of is, that you know the game.
Yeah. It's called 2-Up and it involves coins. Got it.
You
don't explain the rules to me. I understand.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anywho, let's get into Reddit on Reddit. This first one is cross-posted to us by Just Judging Reddit, but it was originally by Name Nerd Circle Jerk. No, that's not right. It was by Paru the Better, but the subreddit is Name Nerd Circle Jerk. Okay. I don't even know really what that is. I mean, I'll read it to you, and maybe they're all just kind of like this. You have to give your children kitchen appliance names. What do you choose?
Oh, okay. All right. We need to come up with a default set of kids that we're naming, I guess. So let's say let's name 3 kids.
Okay.
Maybe two girls and a boy.
Does gender matter?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. That was my next question is, now, are there appliances that seem gendered in any way?
Okay, one male,
like
one
a
female,
mixing
one non-binary Cambo. Then we've covered
all bases.
Well, not all bases, Cambo. Come on. We've covered most publicly accepted bases.
So, like, my question to you is, like, a mixing stick, is that phallic? Do you see that phallic in any way? Or is everything just considered genderless?
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the problem, actually. Because if you were naming a female, you couldn't name it like kitchen sink, for example.
Right. Anything that could have a connotation of sexism.
A very bad which, I mean, kitchen appliances. Okay, so then almost in rebellion of that, I think, what's the most manly kitchen appliance that you could give to the girl so as to not be sexist?
The barbecue. I mean, it's a cooking implement. Ooh, is it a kitchen appliance? I would say not.
Kitchen appliance? No, maybe not quite.
Maybe a George Foreman grill?
Oh, George Foreman grill is really
This is my daughter, George Foreman grill?
Yeah, because I actually quite like the name, actually more Georgia for a girl. I think it's a nice name. But you could nickname her to Georgie. That's cheating. That's cheating. We've got a name there. Okay.
I will say that we have the opportunity here to long play one of the ultimate dad jokes, which is if you name one of your kids Oven.
Mm-hmm.
It'd have to be a daughter, I suppose. And then later in life, say, 25 years later, she becomes pregnant.
Yeah.
And you can go, well, I guess there's a little bun in the oven. And everyone slow claps Nelson and stands up and goes, you've done it. That's the ultimate dad joke.
They're like, man, this took so many years of preparation. You're like, I know. I had to. It wasn't just the naming convention, obviously. That was a big part of it. But I had to convince her to want children for her entire life, just in case. What a horrible move that would be.
Yeah.
And do you know how hard it was to get her to date with a name like Oven? Nobody wants to date Oven. I think their parents are hippies or some crap. Yeah, that's pretty good, Cambo. Are there any appliances perhaps that can form a good nickname?
Or like are not that weirdest sounding, like sieve.
Just like sieve.
Is the word sieve It's an odd name, but it's less odd than microwave.
But at the yeah, microwave is tricky.
So that's Mike, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's Mike. I was going to say micro, but I know 2 cats called Micro, so I don't know if that suits very well.
Imagine that. Oh, hey, I'm Mike. Oh, I assume that's short for Michael. You would assume that, yes.
Yeah, you are not going to believe this. Yeah, okay. Coffee machine. Is there anything there?
Well, it depends whether or not we have to name it by the item thing or whether we can use like colloquial things, because it is common sometimes where people will call things by brand names. And especially in the UK, they sometimes call their appliance a Breville, which is actually just a brand of toasted sandwich maker.
Yeah, yeah.
But Breville, I think you could get away with as a name.
Yeah, Breville. Yeah, Breville's a name. Tefal?
Smeg?
Is another common kitchen. Oh, Smeg. Oh, not Smeg.
Botch?
Oh, God, no. Oh, I've got it. Sunbeam. Sunbeam is... Yeah. They're going to have... When somebody says that, they're going to immediately think, oh, this is like somebody who, you know... Yeah, hippie parents, loves nature. It's all about, you know, their sibling's name's probably Rain. And you're like, no. Sibling's name is Toaster. You're getting the wrong idea. Sunbeam did not come from nature. It came from...
You could also do a hierarchy of your kids based on brand names. Because like Smeg is a very expensive brand.
Yeah, what a terrible name for an expensive brand. Can you imagine how much more successful they'll be if they had like an actually, you know, nice sounding name?
But like imagine if you had someone called Smeg and then someone called like Sunbeam, which is like a more mid-tier brand. And then you had a kid called Anko, which is the brand, the home brand of Kmart.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Although honestly, I feel like Anko's
a better name.
Successful life. Yeah, that's not a bad one.
Yeah.
What name would you want? Kitchen appliance name only. You can't go for brand name.
What
appliance you want to be?
Do I want to be named by something I can get away with or something that I respect the most?
I reckon I want a cool name, and I've got the coolest appliance for it.
Okay.
You can call me Blender.
Yeah, that's good.
I think I've hit the nail on the head with coolest appliance name.
Yeah, I guess you can call me Pod Coffee Machine. Because I can't say Nespresso. That's a brand name.
Yeah, that's true. If we were going for utensils, masher would be the second one.
Masher, yeah.
I'd be known as Blender Masher Allingham.
And I am Pod Coffee Machine Wooden Spoon Campbell.
It really has a nice flow to it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's good. All right, Gabbo, let's move on and get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit was by Firebringer. What's something you heard the younger generation is doing that absolutely baffles you?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I know a lot of, and this is very specific to me, so this will probably make me sound like the old man yelling at clouds. But I've talked to a lot of younger people about movies, and a lot of the movies, they're like, oh, yeah, I watched it in parts on TikTok.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what I thought as well, Nelson. But it is how a generation is consuming media. But to me, that does sound crazy.
Yeah, that's weird. But it's like just all the, like, they're not watching, like, you know, 100 parts of the movie to get the whole movie, right?
Surely
it's just
not.
like the main stuff. Because I do kind of understand. I feel like there was a point in my life where I could say, what's a good example? I don't know, just like certain movies that you kind of pick up via osmosis. Actually, I want to say, I've watched it now, but The Sixth Sense, I reckon there was just enough. The TikTok version for me was really just like,
seeing little bits of it at a time.
A little bit of time, like like maybe in comedy gags or something, you know,
Yeah.
saying I see dead people, and then and maybe like little bits of YouTube or something, or it'd be like a Simpsons spoof or something that is where I get the context from, and I feel like I've seen it all, but yeah, never in actual short kind of snippets like that.
I say that this baffles me, but there are definitely like the common thing for a podcast is once you have an episode, if it was filmed, you make a bunch of short clips of it and put the clips out to promote the episode or things like this, right?
Yeah.
And I have seen podcast episodes where I've watched like 20 short clips of it. And someone will go, "Oh, there's a podcast episode." And I will be like, "Oh, I've listened to that."
Yeah. It's enough.
I feel like I've got all the bits that you would listen for.
If you sort of clipped this podcast, you'd only need to watch like maybe 3 videos.
Yeah.
And then you've got the whole episode.
Which is why we don't do it, because we want people to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's not because we're lazy.
God, no. Don't even. I wouldn't even say that, Nelson. Shut up.
Yeah. All our listeners just have this perception of this that is completely wrong. We're actually thinking like a 4D chess kind of level.
Yeah.
But
which is why, and
simpletons.
this is true, we're the most successful podcast in the world.
Yeah, that's. I mean, obviously going by our metrics.
Yeah.
We have 4D metrics that people can't comprehend,
and also on our Podbean, which we host this on, we can actually only see our metrics. So, that's the most important bit. But we are killing it.
Totally killing it. Totally killing
number
it.
Number one
another
again.
Podcast looks like 0 downloads for me. So, okay, this is something that I've held on to tightly. That is the younger generation doing something that baffles me. Is and I hate the stereotype of like always saying that the younger generation is lazy and whatnot.
Yeah, and also to be clear, stuff that the generations before us do also baffle us. This is not one way. Not one way.
Yeah, exactly. We're the only good generation. So I don't want to be in that trope because, I get it. Some people are lazy, some people aren't. But this one, I really super held on to because it's a first-hand account of something that happened. It actually came from Stacey. Oh, should I mention that? Anyway, it came from Stacey.
I love that you thought and then remembered that we would not edit it out anyway.
Anyway, she was saying that somebody from a business, a like teenager, was complaining because it got so busy. Their workplace got so busy that they asked for compensation because it was unexpectedly or just busier than usual. And it's like, that is so more and okay, well, look, some people know, let's just say Stacey works at the cinemas, right? So the cinema, it goes through like times of being super quiet, and then a blockbuster or two will come out, especially at the same time. Gets really busy.
A Barbenheimer type situation.
Barbenheimer. It's like just the nature of the job that sometimes you'll be dead quiet and other times you'll be super busy, and you get paid the same amount on a super, super quiet night when you're doing absolutely nothing versus the times when you're really busy. They thought they needed like extra compensation for that. Just totally blows my mind. I'm like, what? That is so moron. And okay, fair enough. It could have just been like one person. I don't know. But that really baffled me.
Yeah, that's quite funny. And scaling pay based on busyness is such a slippery slope because you and I also both used to work there, and there would be times where it is quiet, so they would just roster the one person on, so you'd have a busier shift because you're running around doing everything. Yeah, and then you'd get paid less for that.
Yeah, exactly,
because it's quiet.
And just exactly. Like there are times where I would say the cinema is absolutely losing money on nights because they have too many staff on, because they, like it's the biggest operating cost of any business is wages. And so, there would be times where you're earning money and the business is losing money.
Yeah.
So, count your lucky stars on those nights. Anywho, actually, I thought I'll quickly go through what some other people said, see if we've experienced this ourselves. Retros Not 86 said, I guess there's like elementary schoolers with a skincare routine now. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced this as such, but it doesn't surprise me that that's a thing.
I haven't come across it natively, but I saw a news story about it, which is already ages me horrendously. It's like, I saw a news report about this. It was terrible. It's really like there is some accusations that like cosmetic companies are being almost predatory in that, like, if you get them young and loyal to your routine, you're just getting more money for more years. Because they're not necessarily saying that kids shouldn't need this. You know what I mean? You would think a company goes, "Oh, you're 5, you don't need your skin is young, you don't need an anti-aging or anything like that."
Yeah, painful. Here's one from Heroic Forger. Literally committing crimes as part of social media trends. Especially I brought this one up because I haven't heard of this one before. Especially the licking ice cream at the store and putting it back challenge.
Yeah.
That's a straight up health code violation.
Yeah.
What? That is so insane. That's so, I cannot believe that's a thing.
At the moment, do you know what the big problem is Japan is really spiking in tourism at the moment. And what is happening is a lot of YouTubers and TikTok creators and whatnot are going there. And the society in Japan is very orderly and very polite and very accommodating. And their patience is being absolutely tested by people doing like pranks and all kinds of like YouTube challenges. And part of it is actually like harassing geishas. Yeah. Which is just a big no-no. If you go there, they ask you not to take photos.
Don't harass anyone, really.
Don't harass anyone. But they specifically say, please do not take photos or videos of the geishas. That it is just like there's signage everywhere. It's a very clear, I don't know if it's a law, but it's a very clear rule.
Cambo, we didn't see any geishas when we went to Japan.
That's true. And maybe because they were all hiding from all
many photos.
They were hiding from all the TikTokers and YouTubers.
That's pretty nice. Yeah. Do you know what? I blame Ashton Kutcher. He started punked. We thought it was all a little bit of fun until those people had children, probably, because I don't think that generation is the YouTubers or TikTokers.
Yeah.
And they were like, back in my day, we had punked. It was good.
You know what?
Then caught on to just be like, well, instead of famous people and they're kind of in on the funny joke, it's just going to be randoms and they're not in the joke, and it's infuriating.
Yeah, like at least punked was going after people with some privilege, you know? It's like they are wealthy and famous and all that. But I don't know why this came up at all. But we were talking about punked at my workplace the other day.
Yeah.
And how, when you look back at it, it was just mean. Because one of the pranks we were talking about was, I forget who it was. Let's say Justin Timberlake. Because it was famous for like Justin Timberlake really had a bad time. He was like crying on his driveway. But then we were talking about it and they said that they took his dogs. Like, here's the prank. They're like, oh, yeah, your dogs have been removed by the city council and you'll never get them back. It's like, that's a horrible thing to actually do to someone. Like, no wonder. And I think one of them was like, oh, yeah, your house burnt down. Like, it's just like, just really horrible stuff. We're like, that's actually pretty big.
Do you know what, though? It is fine because they're rich.
But
Justin Timberlake is probably like, I'm so sad because I'm probably going to have to spend $100,000 to get my dogs back.
I'm not saying that he couldn't get his dogs back, but I'm saying it's a normal reaction that when you're immediately told that someone's taken your dog and you can't get it back, that you're going to be upset for a bit, even if you think you can solve it. And then they will come out and go, ha, you idiot. I can't believe you.
Okay, man, I think we should bring it back. I think this is hilarious. Only to rich people, though. Only to people where are like, you got an easy,
rich people
pranks. Yeah, why are we doing this to like, everyday Joes?
Yeah.
That's my request from all YouTubers, TikTokers doing
Prank the
pranks.
rich.
Start pranking the rich. You
Yeah.
probably know them because you're just as wealthy as them. So start pranking each other or something. Anyway, I told you it was Ashton Kutcher's fault. All right, Kimbo, let's move on and get into Today I Advice. So now it's time for Today I Learned. Today I Learned. And also sometimes advice. This advice was by Alert Dog 3236. Man I'm dating has gay voice and asked me why everyone thinks he's gay. Do I tell him it's his voice or keep it to myself? I, 23 female, met this man, 23 male, on Hinge, and we hit it off through text. Well, lucky through text. On our first date, I noticed that he had a very feminine voice and vocabulary, just like one you would hear in the gay community.
Oh, vocabulary interests me, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah, vocabulary is a little bit different to like.
Well, I just want to know what a gay vocabulary is.
Yeah.
Look at that bear over there. That's quite a gay vocabulary.
You know what? There's one word, darling. That's in the gay vocabulary.
No, because you can be a sexist. Like, hey, g'day, darling. Can you grab that for me?
Yeah, but then it's also with the cadence.
Yeah,
Hi, darling.
Yeah, combined. Okay, gotcha.
Anyway, that's funny. He was very sweet and showed a lot of interest in me, so I looked past it, and we have been on 2 more dates since. It really fades in the background, and I don't even notice it now. However, that's actually in a short period of time. However, when we were out at dinner, the topic of everyone thinking that he was gay came up. He told me that every time he meets new people and they find out that he likes women, they are surprised and tell him that they thought he was gay. He shared with me that it's something that has bothered him in the past because he doesn't know why people think that. I honestly was very caught off guard when he brought it up that I couldn't bring myself to share with him that it's his voice and vocabulary. I talked to my mum about it and she said she thinks I should tell him so that he is aware, but I honestly don't think it would be helpful as it isn't something that he can change.
Yeah.
What would you do / want to be done in this situation? I actually... So I brought this one up because I think it's really interesting that there's actually a documentary, and I haven't watched all of it, just several clips on TikTok. And the documentary is called Do I Sound Gay to You?
You're right.
And it's about a gay man who kind of had this, just all of a sudden one day was like, why do I sound gay? Surely that has nothing to do with my like mental sexual preference kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just somehow started talking like a stereotypical gay person, which not all other gay men, but a lot of gay men kind of sound like. And he goes into exploring it and talks to gay men who sound super tough and manly. And he talks to a straight guy married with kids who sounds, very flamboyant, very gay. And then he kind of ends up learning that, goes to speech pathologists and stuff. And basically they don't sort of know why a lot of gay people sound the way they do. They kind of suspect it could have something to do with looking at women role models more so than men. It's just like totally speculation, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they were like, this is psychological. Like, you started speaking this way as like a choice, kind of like, or maybe a subconscious choice, but like a choice nonetheless, which is to say that we probably all do. Right? Yeah. Like, it's funny to think that our voice, our natural, the way we sound, is we kind of subconsciously chose this in a way.
Yeah, at least partly, like
at least partly.
Accent, stuff like that is obviously all just like nature from where you are. But certain aspect, like some people affect like vocal fry. and I would say like Kim Kardashian is good. Do you know vocal fry? It's that like the deep in your
sounds
voice.
delicious.
The deep in your voice when you're like, yeah, and you get that kind of croak in your voice. It's called vocal fry. And the Kardashians are kind of get made fun of because they all kind of talk like they all have a lot of really big like they have a lot of vocal fry in their cadence,
right?
To the point where people are like, this can't be real.
Did people start naming it vocal fry after they noticed the Kardashians started? Somebody was like, we need to name this.
I don't know. I don't know when it was named vocal fry, but I think there are people that want that kind of vibe that deliberately fry more of their words to sound that way. And then it just becomes a habit.
Yeah. It's really interesting the way that that something that we see is so kind of natural and just happens is actually something that we're somewhat conscious or subconscious about. So interesting that as well. At the end, she said, I don't know if I should tell him because it's not like he can do anything about it.
Yeah.
But actually, sort of maybe there is. And only, of course...
Should he have to?
No. The point is it bothers him.
Well, yeah.
That's why, like, no, absolutely not. He doesn't need to. But he specifically said, it bothers me that people think I'm gay.
Yeah.
And if she was to say, oh, well, did you know it's because of yours? He might choose to say, oh, is that why? Okay, I might actively work I could actively work towards changing it.
As a role model, look to Austin Butler. Austin Butler spent like a year and a half talking like Elvis to be in that movie. And now he just still sounds like that. Like he just kind of changed his voice because he did not sound like that before.
I bet he regrets that.
He's like a California boy.
Yeah.
And now he sounds like he comes, from where's Elvis from? Memphis. He sounds like a Memphis guy the way that he talks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, there's even times like when I was younger, me and two other friends of mine, we would just hang out with each other a lot. Mm-hmm. And eventually I think we started sounding the same, obviously using the same kind of jokes and whatnot. And people used to say, you guys sound so alike. And I reckon now that's dropped off. If we were to like catch up, people would say, oh, we sound differently. But you and I probably now sound more similar.
I'm sure, yeah.
To each other.
I often wonder that when people start this show is how long it takes them to be able to differentiate between us. And the Cambo, the only reason I ask that is I think people still get confused.
Yeah. I think the tip to listeners, this is an opinion that I've heard, is that I'm the sexier sounding one.
Yeah.
And you're the more whiny and annoying one. Only by like a really tiny amount, because we're otherwise very similar.
Yeah.
But and technically.
And this setup to this whole thing that I love that I did accidentally is switch our names to make it sound like you were Cambo and I am Nelson when I was addressing you.
Yeah.
So now people don't know which is the sexy voice.
Well, we're both technically sexy
and annoying.
Cambo. On a scale, we're right up there.
And we still don't know, and this review still haunts us, which of us is the annoying laugh.
We don't know. I think probably it's both of us at different times.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
That person just thought that there was one person laughing the whole episode.
You know when the Power Rangers get together and make the mega Power Ranger thing? Yeah. That's what our laughs are. When we laugh together, it becomes a really annoying laugh.
Yeah, that's how we defeat our enemies. So.
It is actually how we defeat our enemies.
All right, Cambo, let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought was cross-posted to us by Gone Fish Caking, but originally by Solid Version. There's no way Batman didn't kill someone by accident. I kind of hope he does. That's like, I feel like that idea that superheroes can't kill anybody or haven't ever killed anyone, to me is a boring concept. I think that adds depth to characters, and I reckon.
It also depends what version of Batman.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, right?
Because, like, I've always taken some umbrage in Batman Begins. Spoilers, I guess. At one point where he's fighting the main villain of the movie, and it's on a train that is catapulting into a big burning building and is definitely going to explode. And he says to him, "I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you." And he kind of kicks him off and jumps out the train.
Yeah.
Like, in a way,
yeah, that is
you are
kind
killing
of-
him there.
That's kind of killing
Like,
someone, really.
everything that's happened is partly your fault with this train hurtling towards that.
Yeah.
And now you are making a choice to, like, kick him off of you and get out of there.
It's like shooting somebody with a gun, and then when you're in court, I mean, like, well, he didn't get out of the way.
Yeah.
He had the choice.
Yeah.
Chose not to. So.
And also, at one point, Michael Keaton's Batman just puts dynamite in a guy's pants and kicks him down a sewer, and then there's just a huge explosion out of the sewer. So I think he's dead.
There's a deleted scene where you see the guy take out the dynamite from his pants and throws it away, swims away.
And then goes, "I'm going to change my ways and I'm good now."
Yeah, because my dick almost got exploded. That's what he says.
Yeah. I should have kept that. That's a powerful scene.
That was pretty. It put a lot of things into context, I think. Okay, here's another one. This is by Yo Himeshrimia. We have only seen John Wick after retirement. The prime John Wick is yet to be known.
That's true.
Could it happen, Cambo? Are we going to see prequels?
Who'd you cast though? Because you can't have Keanu.
Who is the current worst actor of the youngest generation?
Yeah. Noah Santorino. Okay, we've got it. We can cast him.
Done.
Yeah. You know what's funny about John Wick is when that was developed, in the original drafts, the person they wanted for John Wick was Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And he was meant to be like an old man.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because in the movie, they're like, he was a living legend. He's been retired for 20 years. And
when
Keanu's
he was 18,
like 45.
Really hit his peak.
Yeah. It is weird. Like, they didn't change the story. He is still this living legend that's been retired for ages.
But I think you totally get away with it because you're like, assassins probably do retire.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
They've probably got a lot of money.
But it's because I never really noticed it until I read that fact. Yeah. And then, like, thinking back about the movie, you're like, oh, yeah, it was definitely meant to be older.
Yeah. There is no way Clint Eastwood would have done as many movies.
No, God, no.
He was one and done. Yeah. Isn't he also really, maybe I'm just making this up, but he would just do, like, one take? Is that a story I've heard?
Clint Eastwood gets him done under budget and ahead of schedule. Yeah, there's some really great stories. I think Matt Damon was he's talking about he's being directed by him. He's like, and specifically in the movie I was in with him, I had a South African accent. So I'm trying really hard to make sure everything's really good and I'm training heaps. And then he said, there's one scene where I get out of a car and I shake someone's hand and say something and I walk off. That was it. And Clint goes, I did it once. And Clint goes, all right, moving on. And he goes, oh, sorry, just quickly. I'm not, I don't know. Can we go again? I just want to feel it. And he goes, you're getting out of a car. If people are distracted by that, you're doing something wrong. And he just kind of kept moving. He's like, all right, I guess that's it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd like to work with Clint, actually. I think we should have him sort of consult on all movies that are like go too long or are just, terribly made. It's like if you ever have to do reshoots, be like, bring in Clint.
Yeah, he'll get him done.
He'll clean this mess up, don't you worry.
We actually knocked off at 3 p.m. Clint's done.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, 3-hour long film.
Yeah.
One day. All right. We could. I'm just going to do this one, Cameo, because it's a gripe of mine. Okay. I feel like I need to mention it. I've mentioned it before on the show. I'm going to do it again. This is by Dimitroy. No user experience has ever been improved by advertisements. Wrong. literally all user experiences have been improved with advertisements. Because not all. Okay,
Yeah.
I over exaggerated. I've lost the audience
For
Cambo.
dramatic effect, though.
For dramatic effect, I did. But and do you know what? I'm actually going to use somebody else's comment in the comments to this thread. I had to scroll down a bit before there were any sane people, obviously. He was like, could you imagine using a search engine that wasn't funded by advertisements and you had to subscribe to a search engine? What if, as if anyone wants to do that? Ads are fine, people.
Yeah.
Just don't buy the shit you don't want.
Ads are the necessary evil, and I say evil in quotation marks, that fund all things.
All things.
Like, whether you like it or not, we live in a capitalist society
Yeah.
that is run by money.
Yeah.
And the fact that every platform you love is either funded by subscription or ad.
Yeah.
And you just have to pick your fighter, really.
Yeah.
Like, the system that we sometimes use on this show, if we're doing remote recordings and stuff like that, it's a great program, but it's a paid program. It doesn't run ads, but you pay for it in subscription.
Yeah.
There are versions of it that, the one thing I think is insidious is data mining. I would rather ads than mining my data.
But that's for the ads, Cambo.
That's true. How will the ads eat without my data?
Okay, let's move into podnapping.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped.
Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another thing, and we do it ourselves.
And now this week is my week, Nelson, and I don't want any of your accusations that I've quickly thrown together a podnapping at the last minute, because that's not true.
You've never done that before.
I've not done it this week. That is for certain.
That's
but
good.
Got me thinking about an hour ago about this latest generation of like celebrity. It's so tied to also being like big online.
Mm-hmm.
And it is now a legitimate path to like fame and mainstream media to be a YouTuber or to come from YouTube in some way. Whereas about 15 years ago, that was seen as like a pretty niche internet thing.
Right. Yeah.
So what I have here is a list of, I think it's about 10 more modern, younger celebrities. And I want you to tell me whether or not at any point they were a YouTuber.
Oh, okay.
Or had some kind of start on YouTube.
Okay.
The first celebrity, Nelson.
Yeah.
And don't look up YouTube channels. Just in case.
Well, is it possible to look up their image? Am I going to know what these people look like?
I think you will, but yeah, look, you possibly can look up their image. And by this, I mean, it's not that like a clip of them went viral on YouTube. Like they had a channel.
Yeah.
The first one, Nelson, is Taylor Swift.
Oh, wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. They went... Oh, right. Because I'm thinking, right, and maybe this person's on your list, but Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was like a YouTube thing first. And so, but he didn't really like have a channel or anything. It's just like a video or something, I think, blew up or something. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, so did Tay-Tay do the same thing?
Yeah. Did she have a go at being a YouTuber?
She seems like she's in the right age bracket for it.
She is our age.
Oh yeah.
Don't think
89.
about that too. Don't think about that too much about in terms of achievement and such.
About how many billions she's got compared to our measly 1 billion. Yeah, I wish she didn't come out with that album, 1989, because then I could just have assumed that she was much
we had
younger.
time to catch up. Yeah.
Okay. Anywho, sorry, I'm stalling. I'm going to say no.
Correct. She did not have a
Ooh.
YouTube channel.
That was so tough, though.
What about Donald Glover?
Oh, I reckon he could be a good candidate for it. Because obviously there's like he was into rapping and stuff, doing the Childish Gambino thing. Although maybe even before that, because it probably wasn't necessarily the rapping. Okay, I'm going to say yes.
Correct. Donald Glover got started in the very early days of YouTube with a YouTube channel called Derek Comedy. It's Donald Glover and two other guys, and they make comedy sketches. That's actually very funny. Derek Comedy is a very funny channel. But that is how he got the writing gig on 30 Rock, which led to him being in Community, which started his whole career.
Yeah,
Came from Derek Comedy on YouTube.
Okay.
What about current, very famous pop star? I don't know whether you have to look her up or not, but Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa.
British pop star. Songs like Houdini and such. She's in the Barbie movie.
Okay. Oh, yes. I have looked up her picture.
No,
I will
interesting,
confirm no cheating. There is no images relating to YouTube.
Yeah,
oh, wait,
her uploading a video into the YouTube backend.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Even if it was just a thumbnail of her face being like super blown up, it's like 1/3 the size, or 2/3 the size of the screen. She's got a shocked face on, and there's a big text next to it saying, "What's this?" That would have given it away. But okay. Ooh, I feel like she also might be in the right age bracket.
I think she's probably about our age as well. If not, maybe
Cambo.
Slightly younger.
I think a lot younger. Cambo.
Is that better?
No, wait. That's worse.
Yeah.
I realized that's
what
worse.
I thought. Yeah.
Oh. Now, older. Cambo.
Yeah, she's way older. Way older.
I've got time to get to her level of fame. Okay, let's go. Yes.
Correct. She started her career by uploading cover songs to YouTube from the age of 14.
Okay. Cool.
What about current Hollywood it girl, Sydney Sweeney?
Oh my God, I'm going to have to look up this chick too. Oh wait, am I ruining this? Sydney, is it? I'm guessing it's S-I. Is that
Sydney, and then Sweeney, the way you think.
Oh, it is Sydney. I feel like Sydney spelt like the city is. Oh, yes, I've seen her before. Was she in there?
She is in Anyone But You was the big hit of the last year that she was in. She's also in Euphoria. She's also in The White Lotus.
Oh, you know what? It's The White Lotus.
Yeah.
That's what I remember her in the most. Oh, boy. You know what? Yeah. I feel like she could have done that too.
Incorrect, Nelson, you idiot. She got famous for her acting talent, not her YouTube ability. She's never asked someone to like and subscribe.
Oh, what? Okay.
Now, I put one in here as a line ball, but you very correctly actually found that line ball, which was Justin Bieber.
Oh, yes.
Which is both. In that he is famous because of YouTube. But it's not that's not a channel he ran. It was a clip of him on YouTube.
Yeah.
That got the attention of people.
Yeah.
So he was a trap I had laid.
That is quadruple points, Camu, because it was a trap you laid, but also I got it before you even asked about it. So
I don't know whether you will know this person or not. Mm-hmm. So prepare your little fingers. But it's comedian and film director Bo Burnham.
Oh, yes, I know Bo Burnham.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know him. I know of him.
Yeah, you're actually enemies.
Yeah.
Yes. Did Bo Burnham get his start on YouTube?
Oh, I feel like I want to say yes. And the reason why I want to... Was it Bo Burnham that did well, actually, probably every comedian did anyway. But I was going to say a comedy show during COVID.
He put out a Netflix movie.
Okay.
Called Inside.
Yes, yes. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. And
Which is a bit like YouTube, isn't it? Just a guy filming himself in his house.
well, that's what I thought. I was like,
right.
that's what I mean. I was like,
Ah.
it's kind of that. So I'll say yes for that reason alone.
He did, yes. He was actually, again, early days of YouTube, he was one of the most subscribed people on YouTube. He was doing comedy songs.
Oh, okay.
What about Brie Larson?
What? Brie? No.
No?
She's also our age, isn't she?
Yeah.
All these successful
I
people.
know. Yeah, they like it.
Okay. I'm going to say no.
This one is a bit of a Justin Bieber trick.
Oh.
Because no, she didn't start with a YouTube channel. Even during her singing career phase that she tried before being an actress.
You're right.
But since fame, she has started one. So she is actually a YouTuber, but that's not where she came from.
Okay. I'm giving myself
She does
points
like
for that.
workout videos and stuff on YouTube. It's quite weird.
Really?
Because
That
sometimes
is
you have a
weird.
celebrity do a YouTube channel like Will Smith or whatever, and it's like very produced and they've clearly got a team. But hers really just seems like she's doing videos every now and again.
Jack Black?
Jack Black is another one. He legitimately seems like he is trying to do YouTube, you know?
Well, this is so weird.
Yeah.
It's just her being her.
Yeah,
you know?
she's just kind of like going around her house. And it doesn't seem like super glamorous or anything. What about Andy Samberg?
Oh my God. Wait. Oh, I accidentally started playing one of the videos and it was very loud in my ears. I apologize for yelling into the microphone. What's that?
Andy Samberg.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Well, obviously he was in the comedy duo thing.
Mhm.
So, oh wait, was it duo? I don't know.
It's a trio.
Trio. Oh yeah.
They got
they
famous
also
on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. And they did stuff with like Justin Timberlake. And,
Yes, that's all their Saturday Night Live stuff, yeah.
The Dick in My Box is like they're famous, right?
Yeah.
I could see them having started by YouTube.
So you're going to say yes?
I'll say it's plausible. So I'll say yes.
Correct. They were discovered for Saturday Night Live because of their YouTube channel. Which is the same thing that happened as I would say the current version of the Lonely Island is a group called Please Don't Destroy.
Yeah.
Which again was a YouTube comedy group that are now doing sketches for Saturday Night Live. It's the same thing. They got really popular with their online sketches.
Yeah. Okay.
Last one is current Hollywood it boy Timothy Chalamet.
Okay.
Now he was an performing arts kid in New York. So there are clips of him on YouTube through the school.
Yeah.
But I'm speaking about him specifically.
I think he would get teased if he was on YouTube.
If he wasn't famous, I'll tell you what.
I'm gonna say no.
Nelson, he did have a YouTube channel, but it's
Did
not
he
what
get
you.
teased?
It's not what you think.
Okay.
Tell me whether you think he got teased.
Okay.
He had a YouTube channel that came to light after he was famous. So this one is almost a bit null and void.
Yeah.
In which he would mod Xbox controllers.
Yeah. He got teased. Yeah.
He
That
was
is
like
so funny.
14 or 15 uploading YouTube videos modding Xbox controllers.
Yeah, that's so funny. Oh my God.
So I don't know if that did actually do anything for his Hollywood career or not. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. He's not synonymous with gaming.
Modding. Yeah. It's funny. There's you know the website IGN.
Yeah.
There was a clip of they were promoting Dune 2, and it was him and Austin Butler. And one of the IGN questions is it was like, what games have you been playing? Because obviously they're the gaming network.
Yeah.
And Timothy Chalamet actually starts talking quite passionately about the games he's been playing with the interviewer. And Austin Butler's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but it sounds fun.
That's his like
Yeah.
politically correct line.
Yeah, dude, like, you fucking nerds.
Yeah.
I'm Elvis now.
He's rehearsed that with his publicist.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to say so many mean things about gamers. No, Austin, you can't do that.
I want to give him a noogie. Oh God, so badly.
He kept showing me his YouTube videos. They're not good.
Anywho, cool. So I won, I think.
I think so, probably.
That's
Who's to say?
Me, I say.
Okay, well, fair enough.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I do actually judge all podnappings. I am the judge of yours and mine. So you very rarely win. Yeah. All right, now it's time for the Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
Yes, come on here from CN, and he's going to love
CN.
that we read this out, and you'll know why in a minute.
Yep.
It says, hello. It's been a while since I wrote in. Over half a year, actually. And CN, we actually have been waiting. 1.5 a year we've been waiting. So thank you for writing back in. I've not listened to podcasts much lately, but I've started catching up. I'm 12 weeks behind right now on episode 386. You've just used the Saturday quiz as a podnapping. Although I haven't listened to any podnapping beyond this yet, I have a suspicion that you're going to regularly use this to get out of making your own. Excited to find out. Then, at the bottom of the email, it says, thought I'd write before I carry on listening so that if I'm right, I look really smart. If I'm wrong, please don't read this out. I want to keep my cred. Thanks, CN.
Well, CN, you thought us scum.
Scum!
Just sitting at the bottom of the barrel, who don't put any effort into podnapping. No. And we'll have you know, we put some.
Yeah.
This
But this does signal to me that people want the return of the Saturday quiz, so I guess that's my next podnapping. Nelson, you can't do it.
I thought I'd probably
that's not what they want.
I'd probably put in a little bit of effort, Kemba, because that's the one, and I'm going to do the Sunday quiz. So
yeah, well, I look forward to seeing how this goes. Probably a couple of weeks off for us. I mean, not weeks off, obviously. I'm hard at work.
Yeah.
Sorry, I accidentally said weeks off there, Nelson.
Yeah,
I meant diff something else.
Slip of the tongue.
Yeah.
Yes. Should I do this other one? How long have we actually been recording for?
We are recording for about 56 minutes.
We can sneak this one in.
I thought you were going to go. Say
45-minute deadline.
I literally thought you were going to say, we've done enough.
Yeah. No, I was like, I can sneak this one in before an hour, can it? Because if we go, it's embarrassing if we go over an hour now. Like we said, we're going to do 45-minute episodes ages ago, but
okay.
The more I talk,
you've got just under 2 minutes, Nelson. Go.
Okay.
You're still going to wrap up the show.
Oh my God. General cunts. Last night, I took my adorable 15-pound dog on a walk around 8 p.m.
Too much detail, Hazza. Quick, hurry up.
We went to a little out in the back trail and planned to walk around 30 to 45 minutes total. When we were about to turn back, my dog suddenly startled and whipped around. I turned to see a coyote about 20 feet away, or in metric, too fucking close. There were 3 coyotes in total, all staring and huffing at me and my chicken nugget of a dog. It was an out and back trail, so we had to walk by these coyotes to get back to the car. We stayed quiet, moved slowly, and passed them so politely to just leave them alone, but one followed us for just under 10 minutes, keeping about 30 feet, still a little fucking close for comfort in metric, between us with its head low. We were both completely terrified. They did not care when I yelled, and the one was following at a quick pace, so we were speed walking back to the car. All the while, I knew I had a fluffy black and white polka-dotted meatball they were very interested in. We made it back to the car, and thankfully, Teddy did not become dinner. I still cannot believe that in the daylight and just 15 minutes from a busy road, a coyote would follow me and my precious puppy. All of this to ask, have you ever had a scary experience with wildlife? Love you guys, Hazza.
Look, Hazza.
Keep it to a yes or no, please. We've got time.
Well, I just want to say, all I would say is, Hazza, you're talking to 2 men that live in Australia.
Yeah. Oh, we eat snakes for breakfast.
Yeah,
no,
but I think we're well known for our dangerous wildlife.
Honestly, though, I'm very. In fact, the dangerous encounters I had with wildlife is like other dogs trying to bite me.
Right.
I've had several instances.
You
over
never
my
come
life.
across a snake or anything?
Yeah, but they're not actually that dangerous.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
I've
fine.
come across a brown snake, which is, like meant to be the most deadly. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's just a bit away from me. It wasn't like charging towards me. Like,
But the point is, any animal we run into probably could technically kill us, like a kangaroo.
could kill us. It could kill us.
Kangaroo
yeah.
have that thing on the back of their foot that guts people.
Yeah. It's a shiv. They
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
just,
yeah.
they've got a shiv.
They got it in prison.
Yeah. All kangaroos have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you actually had a close encounter with wildlife then, other than just kind of being in the vicinity of dangerous wildlife?
Yeah, it'll be snakes and such. Yeah, nothing I would say that is that life threatening beyond regular Australian life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
the ones that are unassuming, like a redback spider, are the really dangerous ones.
I've probably been closer to a
Yeah.
serious injury with an insect or crawly,
Yeah.
creepy crawly than anything else. So yeah, that's probably true. It's not as exciting though, is it? Oh my God, Cambo, we over now. How many seconds we got?
Yeah, no, Nelson, we didn't make it. Wrap up the show.
Now I feel like we've got to go for 2 hours, Cambo, just to make a statement, because otherwise, we've been defeated.
Well,
but now it's like, oh no, we were intending to, and in fact, we wanted to go to 2 hours.
I would have said a tease for next week, but Amanda has written into us, and she loves a lengthy email, so that could have gotten us to 2 hours, perhaps, if we had taken our time and really digested that one.
Yes, okay. You know what? Just this once, I will cave, and we'll end the episode, I suppose, without going to the 2 hours. Or, Cambo, you could leave another hour of just silence.
Oh yeah, just silence at the end.
Episode.
Yeah, and then after one more hour, it goes.
It's going to be so funny because people will look at the runtime. They're like, oh, 2 hour episode.
Not even their 400th was 2 hours.
Okay. Anywho, thank you for writing in, Hazza and CN. Thanks, CN, for writing in after such a long time.
Yeah.
If you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com. You can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter. No, oh my God.
Nelson, no, you've been so good lately. Oh no, you've undone everything.
Do you know my brain literally switches off? I stop thinking about the words that are coming out of my mouth. My brain is like, all right, do the end bit, flick a switch. And then it's like, have you seen Inside Out?
Yeah.
The little characters that are at the console, they press a button that
And
says
they leave.
Reddit outro, and then they put their feet up and they turn on something on the TV.
And now they've rushed back to the control
like,
panel. Like, oh no!
They're like, I told you guys we couldn't do this anymore. We need to re-record the Reddit outro because he keeps getting it wrong.
Okay, here we go. Take two and go.
If you would like to write it, you could just say, wait, what am I up to?
Reddit podcast at gmail.com.
Reddit podcast at gmail.com. And that's it. Or, our Discord.
Yes.
Oh, no. Let me start again. Hold on.
Take three. Here we go.
If you'd like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com. You can also reach us at our Discord or our subreddit.
Correct. Just below the merchandise, a link.
Yes, is the Discord, not the subreddit.
Yes,
I
correct.
feel like I actually should have done that the other way around.
Don't do it again. I'll rate and review the show as well.
I review this show. Don't rate this last bit.
Or but rate it 5 stars.
But rate it 5 stars.
They took the time to do it again to make it right. 5 stars.
You know, something came out I have been meaning to mention is Google Podcast is getting rid of their platform.
That's true.
So if you happen to listen to us on that, listen to us on something else now.
Yeah, I think they're moving it to
whatever.
YouTube Music if you're in the Google ecosystem.
Yeah, I guess.
It'll be on YouTube Music.
Anyway, thanks for listening, and we will read you later. So Stacey